Book 101 review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She is a urology and sexual health nurse practitioner, no other than Dr. Stephanie Zwonitzer.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Mrs. Stephanie. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Absolutely. So, I practice urology and sexual medicine. I also have my own podcast, Between the Sheets, so you can get some more sexual health knowledge there. I'm a mom of two young adults and a fur baby who is my light of my life, and just really enjoy being able to help people live their best lives and have great sex.
Great sex indeed. Will you be my guest on my Sex 101?
Absolutely.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Stephanie or Dr. Stephanie. And today let's talk about men's sexual health. So tell us, Dr. Stephanie, when we talk about men's sexual health, the conversation often jumps to ED or
Yeah.
ED. What are
Yes.
the other less discussed components like libido or hormonal balance or emotional satisfaction that are equally important?
Yeah, absolutely. So, certainly, testosterone plays a factor in it because testosterone is your energy hormone, your stamina, your libido, all of these things that are really important, but are also important for sex. And if you don't have a libido, you don't even have a desire to have sex. So, who cares whether or not you can even get an erection because we got to have the desire first. So, low testosterone is something that I treat on a regular basis for a lot of my male clients. But there's also the psychosocial component. If you're struggling in a relationship, if you've been struggling with erections, or maybe you orgasm too quickly, which we refer to as premature ejaculation, or maybe it takes you a really long time to the point where your partner's like, tap out, I'm done, and you have delayed ejaculation. There are several things here that we can work on, but one of them is going to be getting some sex therapy and kind of talking through the mental aspect of this. I always joke with my patients and say, you guys' head to head connection is very strong, and so if you're not thinking correctly, then he's not working correctly. And so definitely we need to cover the psychological part of it, the physical and emotional part of it. But there are a lot of different aspects to men's health that do not get enough attention.
How significant is the role of stress, anxiety, and mental well being in men's sexual health? Can you explain the psychological link between the two?
Yeah, absolutely. It is enormous. If you are struggling with depression, anxiety, relationship health, stress, financial issues, business issues, it doesn't even have to be something with your partner. It can be completely separate, but your mind is so focused on that, your body has a difficult time shifting gears. So a lot of times people think, men just have sex on the brain all the time. And that's just not the case. I mean, you guys still have to, just like any of us, pay bills, clean the house, get kids to activities, turn in that work project on time. And so it really is very important to be able to work through those things, learn some breathing techniques, some de stressing techniques, and really have either a therapist or a trusted mentor that you can kind of talk through some of your stressors with so that you can have your best sexual health.
Dr. Stephanie, we often seek a pill or a quick fix, but how do foundational health pillars like sleep quality, nutrition, and regular exercise directly powerfully impact sexual function?
They are absolutely directly connected. And they're directly connected to your testosterone levels as well. You can increase your testosterone levels just by getting 8 hours of quality sleep, eating a well balanced, nutritious diet, and lifting weights specifically. Cardiovascular exercises are good for your overall health, but specifically for your sexual health and your testosterone, you want to lift weights. The more muscle mass you have, the more your body is going to produce testosterone, which puts you in a better place for your energy, your libido, your stamina, and your erections. So that's really important. The sleep part of it is enormous. It is so important that when we have guys coming in with new onset erection issues or low testosterone, one of the first things we ask about is sleep. Do you sleep straight through the night? Do you have sleep apnea? Are you using a CPAP machine? Because if you're not getting quality sleep and letting all of the hormones, do their thing at night while they need to rebalance and reset, you're not going to be making progress. You're going to be up a creek without a paddle because you're not giving your body the rest that it needs. It's extremely important. Just like you wouldn't work out your bicep 7 days in a row because it needs rest to heal and grow, so does your brain and your hormones. You need that rest for everything to set, to reestablish where it wants to be, and to go through your cycles in the correct order. And then as far as the nutrition part of it, I always recommend a Mediterranean style diet. So low fat meats, and really just whole nutritious foods. We want to stay away from the processed foods and any fried and really fatty foods, because those are going to slow our blood pressure, our blood flow. They're going to mess with our hormones. The more fat and fried foods we have, we get upset hormones. We get cholesterol levels, which engage in disrupting our hormone levels. So it's really important to get quality sleep, nutrition, and exercise, especially lifting weights.
Indeed, Dr. Stephanie, is it true the gauge of a healthy of a man is having a morning wood?
That is part of it. Absolutely. So, your ability to get an erection is very indicative of your cardiovascular health. One of the earliest indicators of cardiovascular issues, like high blood pressure, clotting off of your arteries, blood clots, things like that, is erection issues, which one of the first things we notice is that the morning erections decrease. But it's also your nocturnal erections and getting the erections when you are trying to be sexually aroused that are also just as important into the look into your overall health.
Breaking the stigma and encouraging action. Why is there still such a powerful stigma preventing men from proactively discussing sexual health with their doctors and with the cause of the silence?
Yeah, there really is. It's funny because some guys really love having me as their provider because they don't want to talk to other men about erection issues. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, I have guys who don't want to tell me about their penis at all because I'm a pretty little lady, and they like just weird
Mhm.
out about that. But I actually have posters in my room about erections, and I'll have guys that look at it and they're like, "Can we talk about that?" There is this stigma, and it's so frustrating because 50% of men by the age of 50 will have some type of erectile dysfunction, and it goes up by 10% every decade thereafter. So by 80 years old, 80% of men are having erection issues. So you should not have a stigma about this. It's almost expected. Like if I have a guy in their 70s who comes in and has no erection issues, I'm high-fiving him like, "You're doing awesome." Like, this is just not what we see. So don't be embarrassed because we do see it all the time. What I would caution you about is some of the online pharmacies that are popping up. There is less regulation for some of those and for the pills that they push, and some of the therapies that they push. And so just be very careful. Do your research, talk to a trusted provider, and make sure that you are getting quality products. Getting something like a Viagra or a Cialis that is regulated and made in certain factories where they regulate what goes into these pills is very important in some of the newer products that are coming out that are combinations are not regulated. So you just have to be real careful with that. Combinations can be really great in treating erectile dysfunction. But just be careful and do your research and make sure that whomever you are talking to as your provider, whether it's your primary care or a urologist, a sexual medicine provider, make sure that they know what they're talking about and have good reviews. We all look at our own reviews, and so you should too.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I think, take away the stigma because it is just it's so normal. It's a normal abnormal almost. And
Yes.
it's just there and it's okay. We want you to have sex. You should have sex. So tell us about it so we can help you.
Yes, indeed. And Dr. Stephanie, what does preventative care look like in a realm of men's sexual health? What should men be doing in their 20s, 30s, and 40s to ensure long term wellness?
Yeah, absolutely. So, making sure first and foremost that you are voiding on a normal basis, that you're having regular bowel movements, everything in the pelvic floor is so close and so connected that we'll have guys who have constipation issues that end up leading to erection issues because of blood flow and tension within the pelvis. So, making sure you have everything working well and you get help if things aren't working well. When you're younger, 20s, 30s, and 40s, we definitely want you to be doing testicular exams. You want to feel for any lumps or bumps. And I will just encourage you that testicular cancer doesn't hurt. So if you're having testicular pain, you need to go get checked out to make sure that you don't have what's called testicular torsion, where they actually like flip over in your scrotum. And then also that you don't have an infection going on. The testicular cancer that you're feeling for feels like a lump on top of your testicle, or like your testicle has another lump with it. So definitely doing that. It's testicular cancer is considered a young man's disease. I think the oldest I've ever diagnosed someone with testicular cancer was 62. And that's very, very rare. It's usually in the 20s or 30s, sometimes in the 40s. As you get a little bit older, we want to start thinking about the prostate. So, if you have any family history of prostate, or if you are of African descent, you want to start getting your rectal exams and your PSA checked at age 45. So, there is some research and some debate right now about whether we do the PSA, which is a blood test, or if you do the DRE, the digital rectal exam, where we put our little finger in there and feel things, or if you do both. And my personal feeling is if you're going to a specialist like a urologist, you should get both. We are really good at the digital rectal exams. We do multiples every single day. So we're really good at feeling the nuances. And then the PSA, it's the only blood test we have that can tell us if you have a risk of prostate cancer, but it's not an amazing test. I have guys that live with elevated PSAs that are totally normal. And I have guys that are within the normal range of PSA that have prostate cancer. So it's a helpful test, but it's not the end all be all. So you definitely want to be getting your prostate checked. Age 45, if you have no family history and you are European or Asian descent, you can have starting at age 50. And then, as far as sexual health specifically, we want you to have erections. We want you to get them if they're not coming on, with the morning erections or whatever, get yourself an erection. It is literally exercise for your penis. So, just like you go to the
Yes.
gym and lift weights, getting erections, that is the exercise for your penis. And it is a body part that if you don't use it, you lose it. So, it's really important, really important.
Yes. It's a
Yes.
muscle too,
It
people.
is. Yes, absolutely. And there's research that shows that men who ejaculate more often have a lower risk of prostate cancer. So now you have more homework. Go ejaculate.
Yes. Definitely.
Yes.
And tell us, Dr. Stephanie, how have telemedicine and digital health platforms changed the landscape for men seeking discreet, accessible help for sexual health concerns?
Yeah, it absolutely has. And again, just caution and making sure that you're finding good quality people. But the companies are great. They do ship to you in non-discrete packaging. If you buy something on Amazon, you might want to check that it needs to come in discrete packaging. There is a box for that, or put it as that it's as a gift or something, so it comes in an Amazon box. But other places online, like adamandeve.com is an amazing online sex store. They always send things in discreet packaging as well. So there's really great opportunities that way that you don't have to let people know what you're ordering. And you certainly, I mean, I do telehealth visits for my patients as well, a couple times a month, so that if there is something that they feel more comfortable talking about in their home, that they can, or just the convenience factor, right? Some guys just really have a difficult time getting off of work to go to appointments. And so if we can do a quick telehealth visit and get you what you need, it's super important to getting access to care.
Dr. Stephanie, as a podcast host, as well as empowering men all over the world, what are your short term and long term goals?
Oh, great question. So, short term is to keep doing what I do every day, grow my podcast so that more people can have discussions that need to be had. Everything on there from basic anatomy to super taboo sex topics. So,
Yes.
there's a little bit of something for everybody. If you're my mother, you're not going to watch everyone, and that's just fine. She's not my direct demographic, but there is
Yes.
a little something there for everyone. And treating my patients every day. I really love what I do. Urology and sexual medicine is definitely my niche and where I belong. My long-term goal is actually to open my own clinic where I can specialize in sexual medicine, and really focus on the hormones, the erections, hormones both for men and women, erections for men, and just really overall sexual wellness for both individuals and couples.
Good luck to your goals, Dr. Stephanie. I'm looking forward for more success. And
Thank
so
you.
tell us, what is a piece of advice that you can give to all men want to have, well, everyday erection?
Yeah, go lift weights. It's super important. Get good quality sleep and just have fun with it. Take the pressure off. If you ejaculate that time, you do. If you don't, you don't. Just enjoy it and realize that there are different levels of pleasure, and learning yourself and what you like and what you and your partner like together should be really fun and should not have pressure on you to perform all the time at your optimal status.
Yes, people, exercise, exercise for sure.
Yeah.
And even down, you need to do the exercise. So, can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Yeah, so one that really influenced mine was called Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I came upon it from my therapist, actually, recommended it to me after I went through a pretty gnarly breakup. And it was her rediscovering herself as her own relationships had changed, and finding herself as a single mom and then dating and all of these things. And it just really gave me inspiration and excitement about my future after having gone through something similar. And she explored her sexuality, and she ended up marrying a woman and all of these things. And so it just really brought me into a place where, the future is truly wide open and it can be whatever we want it to be. We just have to be our authentic selves and go for it.
Go for it. And thank you for that recommended book, Dr. Christine. And beyond the physical solutions, how powerful can simply opening up and communicating about
Mhm.
these issues be for a man's overall well being and relationship health?
Yeah, I mean, it's so important that you talk about things. And it's important that you open up to your provider so that we can help you. It's important that you're honest with yourself so you can be like, hey, you know what? My erections really are changing. It's also important that you recognize that at 50 or 60, you are not going to have your 20-year-old erection again. It's not going to be that towel rack anymore, but we'll get you
Yes.
close. And yeah, I think, and then with your partner too, it's so important to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to your sexual health.
The good and the bad and the ugly. Be open, people. Don't be shy. It's a part of our human nature. So, can you speak the cynical relationship between sexual health challenges and conditions like depression? How can addressing one help the other?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they go in hand, right? Either
Yeah.
you're depressed and you don't want to have sex, or you're having erection issues and that makes you depressed, right? So they definitely go hand in hand. I'm a huge proponent of therapy. If it involves erections or difficulty with sex from past traumas, whatever, I really recommend finding a specialist in sex therapy. But if you are dealing with depression, anxiety, PTSD, family issues, speak to a therapist, work through that, because if you can work through the mental component, we can get the physical component working. We can get you the different medications we have for erections. We can get you on a healthier diet and lifestyle to help the erections as well. Maybe replace the hormones if we need to do those things. So we can help with the physical part, but you've really got to tap into that mental part so that you can get the help there that you need. So it's really a holistic approach.
Holistic approach for sure. And what emerging research or innovation in men's sexual health are you most excited about?
So I'm really excited about these new, what we call wellness tools. Some people refer to them as sex toys, but we like to say sexual wellness tools. That way it sounds a little bit more professional. But there are some really great ones coming on the market to help with erections. What we have found is that vibrations really help increase blood flow. And so there are different erectile tools, rings, vibrators, things like that, that I'm really excited about to see their impact on sexual health for men, specifically regarding their erections.
If you could get every man to adopt one simple habit for benefit of their sexual health, what would it be?
Go to sleep. Get good, adequate sleep. It's so important. And we live in a society where it's go, 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 work harder, work later, stay up and go out with your friends. You're up taking care of the kids. We really need to make sleep a priority. It is so very important to our health.
Is it 8 hours sleep, Dr. Stephanie?
That's what we're shooting for, is 8 hours. There is some variation in that with your personal genetic makeup of how much sleep you personally need.
Hmm.
But the biggest part of it is quality sleep. We don't want you getting woken up every 30 to 40 minutes. We want you sleeping, through the night, maybe wake up once or so to go to the bathroom, but we really want you sleeping straight through the night, not getting woken up by your phone, the kids, whatever, to the best of your ability.
Dr. Stephanie, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in first season, and my baby podcast, Law 101 and mental health 101, love letters in third season, and movie 101 review and music 101 in fourth season, and science 101 and sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Dr. Stephanie, for men listening or watching right now who feels isolated or
Mhm.
hopeless about sexual health issue, what is your most important message?
talk to someone. Your buddies are going through very similar things. Your dad or grandpa or uncle, somebody went through it. And even if you are having a really hard time finding someone in your personal life that will talk to, come see one of us. We are really comfortable about talking about sex. And if you happen to go to a provider who isn't, or that's not their forte, I bet they have a referral to one of us who love it.
Definitely. And sings, let's talk about sex. Sex like that. I like that song, Dr. Stephanie. And would you
Yeah,
be my guest on Sex 101?
absolutely. I would love to.
Thank you so much. Yes, people, let's support Miss Stephanie so that, well, men will be empowered. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your podcast, your advocacy, your clinic, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So my podcast is called Between the Sheets. You can find my website, which was up earlier. So betweenthesheetswithdrz.com. And my handle on all the different social medias is Between the Sheets with Dr. Z. So you can find me there as well. I would love for you to subscribe to the podcast and listen and follow me on social media.
Between the sheets. I love that, Dr. Stephanie. Yes, people, let's support Dr. Stephanie because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering episodes of the podcast itself, more and more empowering advocacy for men's health. So, Dr. Stephanie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
More to come, people. See you soon.